Hi, I'm Christina Trauthwein, VP of Content and Partnerships at Hotel Business. I'm here today with Vijay Dandapani, and he's the President and CEO of the Hotel Association of New York City, or also known as HANYC. Welcome.
It's wonderful to be here, and thank you for having me, Christina.
Yes. Talking about being here, we're in New York City, and I've spoken to quite a few people in the last few days, and they've commented that New York City is back. It's alive, it's healthy, it's vibrant, and that's what this city that never sleeps is known for. So what are some of your thoughts about that?
Well, it's actually roaring in so many ways, particularly for tourism, domestic and a fair amount of international, but more so domestic. So it's doing really well. Actually, it's kind of surprised us on certain weeks. We even reached 90% occupancy. So a small caveat to that, we'll get to that a little later. But yes, without question, if you go to a restaurant, as I did last night, it's hard to get a table in almost any place.
So let's talk a little bit about the revival of business travel. That's something essential also to the health of New York City and hospitality in general. So what do you see there?
Well, that too is coming back ever so slowly, more domestic business travel than international. I think holding it back is technology companies, Christina. They do not encourage. I would go so far as to say they actually discourage some of their workers from coming, and they're certainly giving them these options to work out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, or Bogota, Colombia, depends on.
So remote workforce.
Yes, and
okay.
whereas the financial institutions are really pressing hard for the
back.
younger generation to come back. And it's really the 20-somethings and 30-somethings that are hesitant to come back to the office. You lose out so much from not being there in person. Every conference that I've been to, and I've been to a few, including international conferences, you get so much more out of meeting people. The connections that you make in person simply cannot be replicated. And
Those connections last a lifetime.
And they last a lifetime, exactly.
They really, really do.
Yeah.
So, how do we combat that then? How do you make this happen? Because it is a huge issue. I know a lot of people who are like, if I cannot work remotely, I will find a place that allows me to do so. And that's hard. And I know Elon Musk the other day also came out, right? With his thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think it's a continuum that is going to go back in the direction where we were. And I'm very hopeful about that. As I already said, it's a financial industry that's put the pedal to the metal, as we say, and they certainly are seeing results over there in the younger generation. It's tech, and even tech will realize you can't do everything remotely. Some people will necessarily be remote, maybe for 80% of the time, but the vast majority are going to come back. Because even tech people need the sense of community that you get from your office, and collaboration that you get from your office. I mean, Spotify's offices, I'm told, are empty. Many of these, for instance, TikTok has a huge office space here. They've taken multiple floors in Midtown, and they are empty. But they are, however, looking forward and expect that these spaces will be taken. Otherwise, why else would they have rented this space? So their expectation is mine and yours as well, which is that they hope that these people, not hope, they expect these people to come back to the office.
I think that would be great. I think Zoom meetings have kind of run their course sometimes.
Yeah, I'm zoomed out of Zoom meetings.
I'm zoomed out. I get it. So how does your association help promote your beloved city and let travelers know that it's a safe place to come, it's back to business, and to come on to New York City?
So we work on many fronts over here. On one front, we try to ensure that the work environment is something that's conducive to bringing out the best in our workforce. And we do think we have some of the best workers in this country, and the simple reason for that is almost everyone who works in the hotel industry lives in the city of New York. And so it's really a sense of belonging, and every one of our workers, most of them I should say at least, are ambassadors for our business. So we do a lot of things in terms of worker training, in terms of ensuring that legislation that takes place is not oppressive. But we also work on a macro level, Christina. For instance, we are working, it's not yet fully official, but we are pushing hard. There's some press that's already come up on that, for actually lowering the occupancy tax in the city. Why?
Okay.
Because let's say you're a big meeting planner from sitting in Tokyo and you want to do a big conference over here. You're going to look at that occupancy tax and say, you know what, it's cheaper in Paris, it's cheaper in London, it's cheaper in Tokyo. Let me do it there. So we are pushing for this, and that's not an easy lift, let me tell you, because this is revenue for the city, but we have supplied the city with documentation and studies that show in the short run to medium term, this will actually benefit the city.
Well, it sounds like you need to do it to remain competitive with the other
Yes,
cities.
absolutely.
So, oh, wow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Christina.